It's now time for Matt and Dan in the house of Well, a very good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Matt and Dan in the house of...
Quark.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very dramatic.
Very dramatic there.
So you can be watching us on our Facebook page at MNDHQ or on our YouTube channel. Hello, welcome to YouTube. Or listening to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, Breaker, or of course Overcast and Pocket Casts as well, or any other sites that are out there somewhere on the big World Wide Web. Hello.
Yes. Hello,
Welcome.
wherever you are coming from. Hello, welcome.
Right, so
to a different day
to
for
a
Friday morning.
It is, yeah. Yeah, normally we do this Saturday afternoon, but we move things around. We're not going to do it on Friday morning. Anyway, just a little plug, if you don't mind. I will be on a radio show called Cube Radio. It's live internet radio, which broadcasts all around the world as well. It will be on... Well, I will be there with my friend Mike B, who's a DJ and radio host from Cube Radio. And that will be... that's it, around 12 o'clock midday. But I'll say 12 o'clock midday UK time. So wherever you are in the world, if you can work that one out... I can't do that for you. Just do the maths. I'm sure you'll be able to work it out. So yeah, and you'll be able to listen then. It is worldwide. We get listeners from South Africa, Germany, America, all over, which is quite cool. Yeah, quite cool.
How long are you on for? Like 12 till what?
2 hours, 12 till 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I was going to ask you last week, but then I think I was Zooming my mum and then I just forgot. So, but yes.
And we also do Sunday as well, which I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Sunday is 8 o'clock. I think that's for 2 hours as well. And that's a request hour as well. So if you have any requests, there'll be a chance there to make some requests. There is a social chat there is on Facebook. So you just try and find Cube Radio social chat. You'll be able to get involved there and make some requests.
Can I request the Enterprise theme tune, Faith of the Heart?
Actually, that'd be cool. For some reason, the Enterprise bit, I started thinking of like an orchestral song, and I was like, what? But I realized you mean... Right, why not? Why not? We'll see. All right, we'll give it a play. Why not? So yeah, that's Cube Radio. Check me out there, Cube Radio, if you're free.
Check that out if you like your radios. Yes.
Right, and so it's episode 23 now, isn't it? That's at 23.
23, yes.
23. And today's episode, obviously you know what it's about because it says in the title. But before we start, it's very important that we do announce some very important, news, because it's time for Trek News. All right, and so welcome everyone to another Trek News. And today we've got so much Trek news. This Trek news,
to get through.
it comes from First Contact Day, doesn't it? They announce a lot of stuff on First Contact Day. So me and Dan, we've collected it all together, and we thought we'd bring it to you today. We thought we'd talk about it today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. It's a lot of Trek news to get through. Right, Ed. So we're going to start off with our first Trek news for you. So Discovery finally reveals the trailer for season 4.
Season 4, yes.
And it's coming out, isn't it? Later on this year, isn't it? It's definitely 2021.
Definitely 2021. They haven't released the actual date as of yet, but they have said that it is going to be late 2021. If the previous seasons are anything to go by, I think probably around October time. I think that's when season 3 was. I'm assuming that's when it was for season 4.
I think so. I think you're right there. So they released, of course, a brand new trailer for this to obviously support it coming out. Apparently it was a teaser trailer. It was introduced by a series I'm sorry, following a was a women in motion panel. Apparently, some kind of woman in motion. So I'm reading and talking now. So it's followed by
That's
some
all
kind
right.
of women in motion panel during a virtual global first contact day celebration or something. That's what I'm reading here. So some kind of panel, and then they released this trailer. We're gonna show you now this brand new trailer now for Star Trek 4. So it's very exciting. Of course, as Dan said, of course, should be released at the end of this year at some point in 2021. Right, and so obviously, if you're watching, you can be able to watch with us. If you're listening, well, sit back, relax, and listen. So this is Discovery Season 4 trailer. Here we go. Wow, so there
Wow.
it is. That's it
That,
there.
that bloody cat.
Right, so as I said, of course, I've read somewhere about it being in some kind of was it women in motion panel. One thing I did pick up on there, it was well, a lot of females, wasn't it? It was a very female dominated
Yeah,
trailer, that
absolutely.
was, you know. So I think
Absolutely.
that's going to be a theme, I think, in this next scene. Is it going to be more about women empowerment, I guess, with this, you know, the latest season? I mean, obviously we
Hmm.
had Captain Pike as, I guess, I mean, obviously Michael Byrne is the main character, but Captain Pike, I guess, was kind of the hero, isn't he, of Discovery, especially in season 2. A lot of people would argue he made Discovery season 2, Captain Pike. Everyone goes on. We'll get
Yeah.
into that now. Obviously, how successful Captain Pike ended up being. But what I'm getting from it, especially after reading, I mean, I'll be honest with you, folks, I'm not 100% sure the Women in Motion panel is all about. I wish I knew a bit more about it now as I'm talking about it. But from what I'm seeing, obviously, it's about obviously women, I guess, in film, or being the main
Yeah.
stars of the show. And I think that trailer really did show that, you know. So I'm seeing a lot of women for. I mean, there's a lot of women in it. I don't know, but I see that the women characters even more, I guess, put
Yeah, there's going to
forward.
be
I
more
guess, yeah,
focus on them, I think,
yeah,
probably.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
obviously Michael Burnham's now the captain, so that's
yeah.
one thing, isn't it? So I guess it was always building up to that. And obviously you
Mhm.
have that, the trans characters are in there as well. As you see, we saw a glimpse of them. So yeah, I think
From that
yeah.
trailer, though, I think it looks like it's going to be, again, on another level. It kind of looks like a
Mm.
movie trailer rather than an actual TV
It
series.
does, yeah.
So
No,
I'm hoping that it's going to, I mean, season 3 was awesome. And I think hopefully from that trailer, it looks like it's going to go
mhm.
from like a whole new level, like, even further. Obviously, you've got Burnham's captaincy
Yeah, yeah.
finally. As well, one thing I noticed as well, I'm pretty sure there was, like you say, going on the female thing, that I'm pretty sure there was a Cardassian in it, like a female Cardassian. Uh,
Really, I didn't even notice
yeah,
that.
I noticed like the little ridges on the eye, around the eyes.
Cool.
So yeah, um,
So yeah, I think this season, well, from what it looks at, and also the hints of this whole women in motion panel thing, it seems like this is sort of going to be the theme of season 4 Discovery. Is, I guess, women. Then I guess it's going to
yeah,
be.
maybe.
So
I hope.
that's
I mean,
yeah,
and I mean this anomaly thing. What's that all about? I mean, is the whole thing
yeah,
about the burn in season 3? Is it going to be a similar
yeah.
thing? Hopefully, be a bit more, because it looks a lot more dramatic, I think, this time
Please
around.
give us Borg.
Yeah, well, maybe it is Borg.
Yeah,
Maybe it
maybe.
is Borg. But yeah, very very dramatic. It looks
Yeah.
really like,
No, it does. I
everyone's
know
on
what you
edge
mean.
and
Like it is like a movie. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So yeah,
But
Discovery season 4.
it looks
Um,
awesome.
looks awesome. Yeah, looks awesome. Yeah. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to watch that and enjoy. So keep your eyes peeled. Right
Yes.
then. Moving on. Of course, Lower Decks returns this summer.
Yay.
Will be released the new season August the 12th. So that's very exciting.
Yes, very exciting. Hopefully, I mean, it says August the 12th. I'm hoping that's for both the US and the UK, because I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
did
think
have to wait
so.
ages for it,
At least
but
there's
I
some
mean,
kind of date, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, at least there's a day, and at least there is definitely a season 2.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know if that was in the article that I sent you, but I think they've announced a season 3 as well for Lower Decks.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's in. I must have saw that on Twitter or something, or I don't know if it's in that article that I sent you. But yeah, there's going to be a season 3 of Lower Decks as well. I've just yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Well,
So
I'm up for. I guess when you think about with like animations, they can make you know loads of the you know what I mean in a small amount of time because obviously you haven't got to get the actors in. You just get the artists who draw and whatever they do and make the
mm,
animation and then that's it. You just get some actors. I mean, the actors haven't even got to be in the studio now these days. I mean, look at us now. I mean, we're in separate parts of the country and we're just talking on microphones. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, if you get yourself a
oh,
decent
we're separated by like 30 minutes down the road
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
We're
But
not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand Americans. They understand true distance, and there's us like we don't get in the UK. We think a drive down to Tenby is a full length holiday. Like we wouldn't.
yeah.
That's how we are as Brits. We. It's like, what do you mean drive to Scotland? You get a plane for that. So yeah, we don't understand distance that respects. But what I'm trying to say is, you can be in two different places really, and with
Mm,
technology now, and also prices going down on decent microphones, you can do it. It's
yeah. I mean, it's even easier to do animation
mhm.
now than it ever was
Yeah, yeah.
because you
So
could
I'm
just.
I'm just scanning through this article. I don't see nothing about season 3. I don't think
I'm
so.
fairly confident though that I've seen that somewhere
Yeah.
that they've renewed it for a season 3.
Oh
Um,
no. Well, like I said, I'm down for that if that is the case.
I'm down for it. I mean,
Yeah.
the season 1 proved very popular,
Yeah.
and I mean, the teaser trailer for season 2 looks just as good. So I think I can't see why they wouldn't
Uh-huh.
do a season 3.
Right then.
So
So should we watch the trailer then for
let's watch the trailer. Yeah, absolutely.
Lower Decks season 2? Which of course it will be out in the summer. Wow, so much Trek coming out. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do now is watch the trailer for Lower Decks season 2, which is coming out in the summer. Here we go. I forgot Riker was in it, so that actually was a
I
surprise.
love I love that they've got Riker in it. I love that they are actually doing, some episodes of him on the Titan. I
That's
love that.
brilliant. Yeah,
What does that even mean?
I think, yeah, it looks amazing. I love the fact that it's continuing the story that we know the Boiler went off to obviously join the Titan, and he's off there now. And I love, yeah, I love as well. It kind of made it look like you said that like Discovery was like a movie. Well, that the way it was done, it was like an action film. With the whole
Yeah,
you know
I agree with that
like a Need
actually.
for Speed sort of Vin Diesel sort of
Yeah,
film.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Like the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fast and Furious. Not Need for Speed's the game, isn't it? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
always.
is a Need for Speed film actually. Yeah, with
Oh,
Aaron
is
Paul.
there?
But,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know that. But yeah,
Ah,
you know what I mean. It's that sort of fast-paced action. So, which is not. It's not a fast-paced action program at all. But I love how it uses that, though. I think that's a
mm.
great way of advertising, and I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna. From that, it just looks like it's just gonna be more of the same sort of shenanigans, like the same characters.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, there was again a Cardassian in there, which I can't
yeah,
remember
yeah.
if there was in season 1. I can't remember, but
No.
yeah, it looks good. It looks funny. It looks like
Yeah, yeah,
it because I keep we say this every time we keep meaning to rewatch it, but hopefully
yeah.
we won't have to wait too much longer for new episodes. I think it's one of those
Mm.
series that just
They
you
seem
know,
to invest a lot into it, which I really like.
yeah, you do get that
Yeah.
feel actually from watching it. Yeah, a lot of investment and a
Because
lot of care as well. They
yeah,
get
because
really
like
care.
when we were saying like who watches Lower Decks, like a lot of my friends are saying, oh, they've seen like the trailer for it and stuff on like Amazon Prime because it comes up, and but then none of them have said they've ever fancied watching it because they don't really like Star Trek. So for me, you're the only person I know who watches it. So I don't know, it's interesting because I said there's so much sort of like investment into it, but I'm always like, like how many people are actually watching, or like, is it just Star Trek fans watching this, or is it Because I don't know, it's just interesting. Which I love the fact they're making it. Of course, I mean, it makes me happy. But
Yeah, it makes me happy.
yeah, yeah,
I think one thing for me will be interesting is season one was all about the Easter eggs and
mm,
stuff. It'll be interesting to see if they do more sort of hidden Easter eggs in season two, or if they just now
yeah, yeah.
take it. Where they've done that for the fans. Now season two is going to be
I
this.
think there'll be a lot of Riker ones. I think this is what it looks like it's
Yeah,
going to happen. Yeah,
yeah. Which I'm down for. I like Riker, so
yeah,
and obviously we never really got to see him be captain, so it would be nice to see him be captain in some sort of capacity on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Titan. So
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. So yeah, we are August time. Do, do,
yeah,
do.
August time. So
Um,
that's two tracks coming out this year. Got
oh
season
yeah,
4 of
two.
Discovery and a new Lower Decks.
There we are. So there we are. So I couldn't see my screen went a bit blank then. So there we are. So
That's right.
August the 12th. There we are. So August the 12th will be coming out. Lower Decks. Exciting times.
Yeah.
Right then. So that's Lower Decks. Wow. We'll move on now to
Next.
our next article. And Prodigy. There we are. Another anime
Yeah.
series. So Prodigy finally reveals cartoon Janeway and lots of other interesting things as well. So first of all, let's have a look at Janeway. There she is. I quite like this picture because it's her right next to her cartoon self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what's going to be interesting is Kate Mulgrew is going to it gets to play herself, obviously years younger.
Mm.
She I think she likes the idea that she is, you know, she you know what I mean, like because obviously Janeway's a lot younger now than Kate Mulgrew is now,
Yeah.
and then she gets to be her younger self, say, because
Yeah.
obviously I mean, the cartoon obviously hasn't aged. It looks pretty much when she was younger on there. So I think she's just excited that she gets to be 20 years younger again.
Yeah, I think as well some of the things that've been revealed. I think so. Like she's playing like a hologram version of herself, which I think.
Yeah, I've heard about this as well
So I think
myself. Yeah.
that's going to be fun. And just
Mhm.
look at from like looking at that picture, it literally looks like I think it looks like Janeway looked at the start of Voyager, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
and I think as well she Kate Mulgrew herself had input into the design of that
Hmm.
of the design of what she should look like. Obviously, she should look like Janeway, but like I think she had input and sort of things like the facial structure and stuff like that. And
Well, I'd want to as well. I want to make sure that my character looks good. uh,
that's not how big my chin is.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine though, can't you? Some like stars like going, "Hey, we maybe look like that for," Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do get it, I guess. So of course this will take place in the year 2383. So that is 3 years after Lower Decks. Lower Decks is set 2380.
Hmm.
So it's between Lower Decks and between Picard. So that's where it's set. It
Yeah.
does set apparently in the Delta Quadrant as well,
Yeah.
which will be exciting. Yeah, I've heard rumors that there's something maybe in connection with Voyager, and then these characters come across her hologram self, who then
Mm.
teaches them about the Federation. That's where I've heard. I was thinking of like some theories myself, though, on what it could be. I mean, I have heard the hologram theory, but I did. I part of me was thinking, that episode with all the weird mud creature things that like, the ones and they basically become the characters. And there's one episode where they're mud creatures and they're on their way back to Earth and they melt. Do you know what? They're so
Um,
so there's a planet they go to, and the planet basically imitates them. And like, do you know what I mean? Like that weird clay. And there's one where you think they're all dying, but it's not. It actually turns out to be the clay creatures, and they're melting.
Vaguely, but then
Yeah.
for some reason I'm thinking of Odo and his shapeshift of people.
Right. No, I'm on about Voyager.
No, I know you're on about Voyager.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
it sounds familiar to.
It does. No, it does sound. Yeah. So they're like we remember there's like one, and they're like weird mud creature
I think
things,
so. Vaguely, I think
and
so.
then they basically become them, the Voyager crew. And there's an episode where we see Voyager going back to Earth, but then they start all dying, and it turns out they were all the clay
Yeah,
people because they
yeah,
still had the same knowledge and intention as they had, if that makes sense.
Mm.
It's a really weird concept. A part of me was thinking, could it be another one of them, but for Janeway?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
Maybe,
thinking
yeah.
as well. That was another theory I had in my head. But I have
Yeah.
heard a lot about this, like you said, the hologram one. I think that's that seems to be the most favorable one. So yeah, hologram Janeway obviously ends up interacting with these characters and teaches them all about the Federation. So yeah.
Awesome. I was hoping that they would give us a teaser trailer actually as well, but I don't think they have yet.
No, they haven't given us any teaser trailer as such yet. Yeah, my teeth in. But yeah. No,
I think
it's
also
awesome.
this is going to be this year as well, is it? I think as well. Is it? Or is this 2022 now?
I don't know if they gave us a date for this, have they? Or released at first? No, it's just the first image. I think that's all we've had. Is the
first image.
It's the first image.
First image of Janeway, because I think last time we mentioned that there is obviously the first images of the other characters as well. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they merge. It looks awesome. It looks. We say this all the time. It is for the little kids, but we're gonna watch it as well.
I mean, I just love the fact it's set the Delta Quadrant. I think
Yeah.
that's amazing, and I love how they picked Janeway of all other characters.
Yeah, the correct choice. The correct choice.
So yeah, but also, will this be right? I'm gonna blow your mind now. Will this be technically the first holographic captain?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? That's the thing as well. This could be the first holographic captain then, if she is a hologram.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If she is a captain. Well, we know she's a captain.
Yeah. Well, we know she is a captain, but will she be the captain of that crew? Yeah. Oh, it blows my mind. I can't wait. So there we are. So Prodigy, there we are. First look of Captain Janeway. Also some information there as well at it being set in the Delta Quadrant and 3 years after Lower Decks. Right, awesome. So we're going to move on now to our next one.
More Trek news.
More Trek news. Yeah, we do have more. Okay, so Strange New Worlds aims for a 2022 release as COVID cases affect production. So this is just just a recap here. Of course, Strange New Worlds has been having issues, doesn't it, on set with obviously COVID-19, which of course has affected a lot of things around the world, but it has also affected the filming of Strange New World. So I think they had to stop and start and things like that and isolate.
Yeah, I think
the cast.
Yeah, I think a few production members have caught the virus, so they've had to put production on hold. So, but they're still aiming for 2022 release.
Yeah, so they're still aiming for the 2022 release, though, which is all good. It's good to know that it hasn't shut it down completely. No. Yeah, but there's no trailer or anything like that. That's my knowledge, anyway. I haven't seen anything. So, but yeah, Captain Pike again. There we are. There was my example from earlier. Of course, was Captain Pike being obviously some people would say the savior of Discovery, so, and he even got his own show, so there we are. So he's done something right, isn't he, really? So yes, Strange New Worlds hopefully coming out around 2022, so next year, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So hopefully COVID won't get too much in the way.
No.
And more Trek news. We do have
Trek news.
More Trek news. Q is back.
Yes. The one we've been waiting for.
The one we've been waiting for. Dan been saying this. Will Q return to Star Trek Picard now? For ages we've been saying this. And the answer is yes. Yes. Q is coming back and he will be in Picard. Right. Now, how we know this, of course, there was another teaser trailer. Now, for this teaser trailer, it's all you just hear, don't you? We'll play it now anyway. So if you are just listening, of course, you don't need to really watch this, do you? It's all about just listening, because you'll be able to hear something that'll make you go, ooh.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
Yeah. What we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play now the teaser trailer for Picard Season 2. And as I said, it will make you go, ooh. Season 2 Picard 2022. And of course, there you have it. Q is back.
Q is back. And hopefully, I mean, from that, I just think he's going to be the focus of the whole season. Fingers crossed.
I think so as well. I love when he said the trial hasn't ended because that's what it's all about. Of course, TNG was all about Picard on trial, and the trial still hasn't ended. I love that.
Still hasn't ended. Yeah, it's awesome. I am glad he's back, and obviously he did return a little bit in Lower Decks, but it'll be nice to see him up against Picard.
Yeah.
Again in this new form. That now they're both older, I guess. Yeah, it looks awesome. From that trailer as well. I mean, I know people who are listening wouldn't have been able to see it, but I just love the whole sort of, you've got the picture of the Enterprise there, or Picard's Enterprise, and then where the camera focuses on the playing card and it's Q, and it's like, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
There was a lot of interesting things what we saw out of the visuals. One of them that I caught my attention was it showed the book Paradise Lost, and if it's the same book I'm thinking of, Paradise Lost, I think it's by Milton, and that's about the Antichrist. Well, it's about this basically the story of Lucifer when he falls down from heaven, but it's from his point of view. Right. So I mean, I don't know if that's some kind of connection with Q, or I don't know. I mean, that just made me think
maybe
it's interesting why they focused on that book, Paradise Lost. If it must, I'm guessing it's the same book as the one I'm thinking of as the about the Antichrist. So,
exciting.
By the fact there's no, we don't see no characters. We just hear the voices. No. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, two iconic voices of the Star Trek franchise, Picard and Q. I'm optimistic that it is going to be, the whole season's going to be focused around Q in some sort. Picard's still on trial, and I think personally, I think it needs it because I think, I think our opinions differ on Picard, but I think season 1 was a little bit, not necessarily bad or anything, just a little bit underwhelming. So I think with the introduction of Q, hopefully it takes it to that next level.
I think season 1 just needed, it was just a starting point, wasn't it? And that's the thing. I think that's all it was. They needed to sort of build ground, and now I think they are. And I think also what I love about Picard is kind of same with Discovery as well. It's just the production value in it. I mean, look at that trailer as well. It was just so simple, but it was just amazing the way it was made and produced. And it's exciting. It's so exciting.
And as well, I mean, we know that Guinan's going to be in it in some fashion, and I know Guinan and Q had a little bit of a thing as well. So maybe, hopefully, that's also going to be focused on. Yeah. So
no,
I'm looking forward to that.
So there we are. Picard is back 2022, and of course Q will return to the Star Trek franchise.
The trial never ends.
The trial never ends. Right, and so we have got our last article now for Trek news, and we've got some very important Trek news for you now to finish it all off with. There will be a new Star Trek movie, and it'll come out on the 9th of the 6th, 2023, 6 days after my birthday, Dan.
Yes, absolutely, 6 days after your birthday. What a good belated birthday present that you'll have when you will turn 30. Is it? Yeah, I think you'll be 30.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
I mean, I will already be 30. So anyway, yes, more Star Trek in the cinematic world, which I think is important. Yeah. It's not just a TV show; it is a movie franchise as well. I can't wait.
We belong in the silver screen as well, just as much as we do as the small screen. I mean, there's no information as to what this film, who's directing this film. They haven't confirmed that at all. They haven't confirmed whether it's going to be part of the Kelvin universe. They haven't confirmed is it going to take part after, Nemesis. They haven't said nothing. This is all they're giving us as a date. I've read a few things or some rumors online. Apparently, Zachary Quinto has come forward and said that it's not Kelvin, or it's not him anyway, which is making me think, what's this going to be about then? Could this be Tarantino?
Yes, because we know that Tarantino wants to make a Star Trek movie. Yeah.
Could this be Tarantino? Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A 3-hour long Star Trek movie. That'd be great. I would like to see something set after Nemesis, and maybe with some new characters and a new ship, maybe, or
Yeah.
you
Not
know,
same.
or what would be nice is in keeping up with the spirit of bringing people back, and maybe like a merger of TNG, DS9,
Well, I was
Voyager.
just thinking
Oh,
that kind of like a Marvel sort of approach to it, isn't it? Because that's
yeah,
what made the Marvel films, really popular as well, was the idea they all cross over and things. And people,
a crossover movie would be
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So I think you might be right. I think that may be the next stage for Star Trek. Is it the crossover? Is it the whole, um, you know, Avengers Endgame sort of thing? Is that what it needs to sort of go
Mm.
into? I don't know. And I think that could be. I mean, with the beauty of Star Trek, we can do all those things with obviously time travel and obviously space and everything. So anything's possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Picard involved. I'd love to see them all involved. To be honest, I think it'd
Yeah,
be
I think they would all be keen to return as well. I
yeah.
mean, a lot of them have already returned, and I think even like people like Avery Brooks as Cisco, I think has
Hmm.
would like to. I mean, I know Sirach Lofton, who played Jake, has said that because he's quite close with Avery Brooks, has said that he would be up for it. So
Hmm.
I would love to see like a crossover, like all them all coming back and just
Yeah,
you know. And I think it would be the perfect place to do it. I think a TV show wouldn't necessarily have the same, gravitas as a movie to bring everything back. So
yeah.
yeah,
I know that William Shatner even said himself. I mean, he said for ages he'll never come back as Captain Kirk, but he also said recently that he may come back, as Captain Kirk. So
maybe
it's
as
a
as
possibility.
a very old Shatner. 'Cause
Yeah, you know what I mean, like a
I
very
think
old. No, but I
think
mean,
he's
it
like
could be some way. He's 90.
90. Yeah, 90. Yeah, exactly. So
But he's still working hard, even though he's 90. I think there could be some way of introducing something, and he gets involved somehow, though, and you know,
even if it's just his voice, because as we've been
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
he could literally just you know record something from his living room
hmm
and send it
yeah,
off. So
yeah. So there we are. So brand new Star Trek movie coming out, of course, in the year 2023,
uh,
6 days after my birthday. So I'm sure we'll go and see it in the cinema
yeah, I'll
then.
treat you. I'll treat you to some popcorn and
Some
as your
popcorn.
birthday present. Popcorn
All right
and
then. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hold you to that. Right,
yeah,
and
I will. Maybe even a
yeah,
drink.
I got on video now. Right, and so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was this episode's Trek News.
It's like a podcast episode in itself. That
I know. Wow, that was a lot of Trek news to get through. It was
yes,
so much stuff, but it
a
was
lot of
great.
Trek news. Yeah,
A lot
no,
of
good.
Trek news. Right then, so it's episode 23, as we said. So this episode, we're going to be talking. We're not really going to be talking about Star Trek now, actually. We're
No,
sort of going off Star Trek now, but we are going to talk about another sci-fi show that we do love. And we obviously will be explaining how we do we do relate it to Star Trek in some shape or form. It's a comedy show. I know a lot of Americans do like this show. There was an American version of the show, actually.
oh right, I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, because I'm not sure if Craig Charles actually got. I'm not sure if Craig Charles got involved or Chris Barry got involved. One of them got involved and actually went over there and still remained as his character over there. I
Oh
think.
right, to be in it. Oh right, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I know there is an American version of it as well, but we're going to talk about, of course, the British version,
Mhm.
the original version, the British version. So if you haven't watched Red Dwarf before, go and watch it. It's fantastic British humour. That's all I'd say. So
Yeah.
here we are. So first point, of course, is what is Red Dwarf? Well, I think I already said it. It's fantastic British humour. It's obviously
What
a
is it?
sci-fi. What is it? It's a sci-fi show, of course, set in the far future on the mining ship Red Dwarf. And we basically have four main characters. in brackets 5. We'll get into that in a minute. Of course, who are on, well, they're lost in space, basically, isn't it? And
Lost in space.
yeah, they're basically just trying to get on with life. But you can imagine all sorts of things get in their way as they try and get themselves back to Earth. But it's something like millions of years in the future as well, isn't it?
It's like 3 million years. Because I think the and of course, I mean, you haven't got a picture there, but you've got also the computer called Holly as well.
Yes, of course. Yes,
Which
yeah.
is which there was 2 incarnations of that. There was a male version and a female version. I liked the guy. I did. He was very dry, like he was very dry and witty and stuff like that. Yeah, just like I liked him. Not to say that the woman Holly was bad. Like I liked her, but I think the male Holly was funny because I think he'd always like go, "All right, dudes," just pop up. Yeah. All right, dudes. And then when he returns, actually, because he does return, actually, I think in the last series, doesn't he? He just pops on and goes, "All right, dudes," as if he's never been away.
And they have the laughing track, so it actually cheers him, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Holly is their computer, and I think he's got a IQ of over 1 million or whatever it is. I think
it's a lot. Yeah,
it is a lot. So. Because I mean, in the early series as well, actually, Crichton wasn't in it straight away, was he?
No. So of course it was just obviously Lister gets caught. He's in status, isn't he? Because he gets in trouble.
Yeah, he gets in stasis, gets put into trouble. Gets put into stasis because he gets into trouble.
Yeah. Because and also he has a cat, does he, on board? We'll get into that as well, because obviously the cat is a very important part. Obviously Rimmer is his co-worker who really wants to be an officer, but still like he's basically filling vending machines, and they're basically like cleaners, aren't they? They're the lowest of like the crew members.
Lower deckers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're lower deckers. There we go. And basically there's obviously an explosion, a horrible disaster happens, everyone dies apart from Lister because he's frozen in time for 3 million years. And then Holly decides to wake him up 3 million years after. And then obviously Rimmer returns as a hologram. And is it soft light then, though, isn't he? We'll get into that. He's a soft light hologram at first. So you can put your hand straight through him. And the cat, that's an interesting one, because obviously, as I said, Lister had a cat. And,
an actual cat.
An actual cat, a meow, a cat, But then obviously 3 million years of evolution of the cat living on the ship.
And also the radiation as well, because the radiation caused the cat to evolve, true. I guess.
Yeah. But it was also 3 million years, wasn't it, of evolution?
Yeah.
That was part of it. And then obviously we had, cats then, who was basically a human who came from cat, not a human that came from apes.
Yeah. And Lister is his god.
And Lister is his god. What's something that he holds the curry stains?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should mention that Lister likes a lot of curry and beer. Which, I mean, who doesn't? Because we'll get onto this, but one of the episodes where the curry gets he's out of curry, isn't he? And he uses the time travel thing to try and get the curry back or something like that.
It's Crichton, and he goes he tried a pizza one day, but he didn't like it, so I poured curry sauce all over it, and he ate it down in one.
I think he has curry for breakfast and curry for lunch and curry for dinner. And a lot of beer.
Well, how to kill a Vindaloo, a lager.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And then obviously Crichton is not Crichton does kind of appear, of course, in the first 2 seasons, but he's a one-off one, and it's not Mr. Llewellyn, isn't it? It's I don't know who the guy who plays Crichton then. And also he's a bit more of he's a bit more like a butler then, isn't he? He's not as quirky. He's very
he's on another ship, isn't he? They find him on another ship, and he's killed. Didn't he kill all of his crew?
I think they just died. I
Oh, they
think
just
he
died. Okay.
didn't. I think they died of starvation, but he kept working. He just thought they were being
Yeah.
quiet. I think that's the joke. And he
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thought they were just being quiet. It was like, no, your crew are dead. He's like, oh my goodness. He's like, because he just keeps cleaning for them, and they're like skeletons sat there. um, and then obviously, then I mean, okay, so that obviously season 1 and 2 basically sets the story, doesn't it? It sets
Yeah.
obviously as we just did then with Lister and Rimmer, of course, the cleaners or whatever, vending machine guys on the ship. Explosion happens, blah blah blah. How Cat comes, how they meet Crichton, and then season 3 for me is my favorite. Well, past that season, was all my favorite then for season, because season 3 is when they introduce Crichton properly, as in he
Yeah.
becomes a member of the crew
Of the
properly.
crew. Yeah.
And
Although
it
I should
is, yeah. Sorry, hang on.
I no, I agree with you. I think after
Mm,
when season 3 happened, that's where it really kicked off. But
mm.
I have a lot of appreciation for the first two.
Oh no, I
Uh,
love the first two as well.
as-
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm getting on to as the series goes on. But I prefer series 1 and 2 Cat, because he kind of was a bit of a, like, after season 3 he was a bit more part of the crew, but in the first couple of seasons he
Yeah.
kind of just strolled around the ship being a cat, and like, do you
I
know what I
think you're
mean?
right there. I think the first two seasons was focused mainly on Rimmer and Lister being the main, and them two sort of like, well, especially Cat was sort of, I know what you mean, like a separate group that he just lived. He was sort of a character that just lived on the ship with them. And
Yeah.
then as obviously writing went on, they made him, a principal sort of character, didn't they? He became part of the crew. So no, I 100% see. I prefer him part of the crew person. I think I'd say I love season 1 and 2. I really do. But season 3, I mean, look, season 1 and 2. I know you can't just judge a season on this, right? But season 1 and 2, you have the intros, the man painting, da 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 you're painting the ship, which is brilliant, by the way, really iconic moment, I think.
Mm.
But then season 3 is when we have it's when the theme tune is being used, and then because that theme tune for me is, well, possibly my favorite theme. My favorite theme tune in all of British television. Like, I absolutely love that theme. That's my favorite one.
I know what you mean. I
Mhm.
quite I like. I have other favorite theme tunes,
Yeah.
but I think the ending theme tune's quite good. It's
Yeah.
cold outside. There's no
No
kind
time
of
of
atmosphere.
atmosphere. I'm all
Um,
alone, more or
more or
less.
less
Let me fly far away
far
from
away
here.
from here.
Fun,
Fun,
fun, fun.
fun,
Dum dum
fun.
dum dum dum. Dum dum
The
dum dum.
sun.
It's brilliant.
But I think that's quite iconic, and I
Yeah.
think that's up there with one of my favorites. I think it's one of
Mm.
those you always sing along to. It's kind of like the Only Fools and Horses theme tune. You always
Yeah,
sing along
yeah.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I know what you're trying to say. I mean, I think after season 3, that's where it became a proper
Mm-hmm.
series, with all of the cast members. But I think what I was trying to
Mm.
get at with Cat, he was more like a cat in that he would just roam about the ship and just do
Yeah.
random funny things. That's not to say I didn't like him when he became part of the crew, because I think he is a good, comic relief type
Mm-hmm.
thing. Is that kind of, there's this guy who's a cat, and he still has. I quite like that he still has his cat, features and traits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree. No, I do agree. I think, I mean, season 1 and 2 is, like you said, is when we had male Holly as well. And it's
Yeah.
quite what's interesting, even though I say from season 3, but season 1 and 2 with Holly, I still think the male Holly was my favorite one,
Mm.
even though I prefer past season 3. I know he does come back, but male Holly for me was, just, I mean, there's one, isn't it, when they actually isn't it like a portal, and it's like they come and see that they see their a world where women, like women and men swap
Yeah.
roles or something,
Yeah.
and it's like female Lister and female Rimmer, and it's not cat, it's a dog, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
and then and then I just like, well, you're one of them mask lists, are you? and then also that's where the first time we see female Holly as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
and they're together. But I still, yeah, I still prefer male Holly to female Holly, actually, as well. Yeah, I think he's just a lot funnier, really.
A
I
lot
still
funnier.
like her, but I do think he's just the, he's
He was
just,
more. He was more like the crew
yeah.
than the
I think that's
female.
what, yeah, I think that's what made it funny. Because that's, that one where, I don't know, I think this is season 1 and 2, isn't it? Where the one where, Holly gets replaced with that man, the really mean man.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
I
yes.
love that.
He tries to outwit the man. I think that's called Quarg or something, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
like a,
but it turns out it's still him, isn't it, and stuff.
it's
Yeah,
still him, yeah. But he tries to like he tries to he challenges to him to a game of chess, doesn't he? He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, queen to whatever, and he's like, oh, sorry, that was I was thinking of poker or something like that. Queen doesn't move like that. I was thinking of poker.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, and obviously then as the season goes on, they do keep then that theme to the guitar, now, 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 and then it goes on, and then eventually the crew then has another member, doesn't it? We
Yeah,
have well, this is the thing. This is Lister's love fantasy, isn't it? This is the thing.
yeah, because
Kachan-
she
Kachan-
Christine Kachansky.
I
Yeah,
can never say her name straight away. I don't know why.
Uh,
Kachansky, yeah.
yeah.
There we
She
go.
was part of the original Red Dwarf crew, wasn't she? And then
Yes. But
she got killed in the explosion.
hmm And then
Uh,
Rimmer's always had this thing, obviously, with her and finding her and stuff. And then, because she comes back because of, again, it's like a portal, isn't it? Like a time portal thing or whatever. And then
yeah,
she basically walks over and then joins them.
yeah, she's like a part of an alternate reality where she
Yeah.
survived.
Yeah. And then she then joins the crew. But then, I don't know, it's kind of like, did you think she was going to end up with Lister, but then she doesn't end up with Lister? She just sort of become one of the lads in some respects, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I'm glad that they kind of. I mean, I think it was. Even though Lister did still try and go after her, and he kind of, are they going to get together? Are they going to, whatever?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was quite important because I don't know if it was like a Chris Barry thing, but obviously he wasn't part of much of that series that she was in. I don't know if he went off to do other things, and
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he goes to be Ace, doesn't he? But
He
I
does,
didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah. He's Donald Rimmer.
So I agree with that. Like what you said, she is part of, she does become part of the lads. To be honest, yeah, which I think was great.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, I mean, at the time when I was watching this, I mean, this came out when we were quite young. I remember watching this on BBC Two, and this is the time, right, for anyone who was born after, well, 2005, I guess. There was a time where me and Dan had to wait for TV shows to come on TV,
Yeah.
and sometimes we used to tape them on tapes. And I used to have Red Dwarf on tape. I taped it, so I had all of season 8 taped, and I remember not really caring much that there was a female cast member, Kachansky. But then as I got older, I remember my dad saying, "Oh, it was meant to just be men in space." And that was a funny thing about it. I sort of got it. I was like, "Oh, he's got a point." As I got older, I think.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
yeah, I think that is. I think that's what that's where the sitcom element comes into. Obviously, sitcom situation comedy. Is these useless men in space, not kind of
Yeah.
doing. I think the fact that they are deprived of female companionship, should we say, they've got each other.
Yeah.
And we should stress as well, they're not mates, they're not best mates. They're kind of just put together, and they kind of just learn. They kind of just go along together. I mean, it's that camaraderie rather than friendship, isn't it? I think that. So I see what your dad was saying about that. I think, but I still I think she was quite a good member of the cast. It kind of added a little spice to it.
Yeah. No, I do agree. I mean, I did like her, but I think, yeah, I think she worked better in when because it was season 8, wasn't it? I think we're having all the rest of the crew members back because
Mm.
obviously we don't want to give too much away, but basically, here we are. Somehow I don't want to give it too much away if anyone wants to watch it, obviously, but basically, the crew return to Red Dwarf, and obviously, you can imagine all sorts of things happen. But I quite like the idea that I don't know. I think she worked better with that surrounding than she would have worked. Do you know what I mean? If there was like
I
season 3 on on their own, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Actually, yeah,
Mm.
I would agree with that. Um, I think I think I prefer the original 4, like with them, because I think it is that, like I say, the situation of them just these useless guys just being in space and sort of
Mm-hmm.
not having a clue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really, uh, you know,
Well,
because
oh, sorry, carry on.
well, no, it's because obviously that you know, as soon as they add the woman element to it, it's kind of
Mm.
like. But she was good. She wasn't like the typical woman though, was she? She was quite a bit of a badass. She wasn't going to cook all their meals and do all.
No,
I mean,
no. That's what I
that
mean.
was Crichton.
She sort of became part of the one
Yeah,
of the lads sort of thing, didn't
yeah,
she? In some respects,
yeah.
there. I just love. I mean, looking at the different characters as well. I think you got Lister, who is an alcoholic curry eater. You know,
From
you
Liverpool.
from Liverpool. I mean, making him a Scouser is brilliant as well.
Mm.
Obviously you got Arnold Rimmer, of course, who you can imagine he sort of wants to be a SWAT. He wants to be like the best, but he is just an idiot, really. And he just gets himself in all these trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I love that word SWAT. Yeah, I haven't heard
yeah.
that in ages.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I'd say he's kind of a wannabe SWAT because he's not really a SWAT at all. I know he thinks he's one, but he's not really. I can imagine he's been, he'll sort of bend over backwards for like any superiority to be superior, but then he doesn't really get anything out of it because he'll always mess things up and stuff. But then
yeah,
he also uses that to look down at these guys.
yeah.
But again, it's just it's hilarious how it works with Lister, and how they bounce off each other.
Mm.
Um,
But yeah, because the status between those two is quite the same, but obviously
he
Rimmer
thinks,
thinks
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
yeah.
And then obviously you have the cat, meow. And then cat, of course, as I said, came from the cat. Again, who is obsessed with fashion,
Yeah,
dancing. You know, girl,
he's good.
you get me
So
tongue tied. So
good. I like the one. I think this is in series 8 where he gets the he gets the ship to dance. Does he get Starbug to dance or something like that?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
He's
can
really good, Danny John Jules, is like singing and dancing and stuff. He's great.
Can I drive this thing? I can make this thing dance.
Yeah. You do a really good impression of him.
I watched it too many times.
Uh,
Right. I look like Dwayne Dibley.
Dwayne Dibley.
And then obviously Crichton then, who is basically a butler, isn't he? He's a robotic butler who finds it difficult, of course, to go against his programming. He's programmed to serve. But as the season goes on, of course, he does break that program. The best is obviously, I think, is when Liz is trying to teach him how to lie, and he has a banana, and he goes like, "It's a banana, it's a banana," and then eventually he goes like, "It's a Czech Republic traffic warden." He's which is hilarious. I love that at the end he manages to lie. At the end he goes, "It's a banana."
Yeah, and then he kind of joins in with like the bashing of Rimmer in a way. He kind of insults Rimmer a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Lister teaches him how to. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I'm gonna say that Crichton is probably my favorite character.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I just love everything about it. He's kind of like just the way he walks and he's like a bit of a wobbly head, and like I love the fact that he has different heads.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like he had, and you can detach his heads and stuff, and he's again, he does become a little bit like Kachansky. He does become part of the crew in a way. At first, he was kind of like, the dog's body, I guess, the butler, but he does become part of the crew.
Yeah.
I just love that the fact that he does, he just and he does ironing as well. He likes he finds pleasure in doing all like the chores and stuff, and is
Uh-huh.
you know yeah, I think Crichton's my favorite character. Also because he does remind me of somebody I went to university with. So um,
Okay.
so so yeah, reminds me of my friend Lawrence, who I went
Oh,
to university with. Yeah, he is Crichton.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, and looking at also our list here, so favorite moments of the series as well. Again, I'm gonna talk about season 3.
Mm.
And I'm gonna talk about I think it's the first episode of season 3 as well. Is when they go to that planet where everything goes backwards.
Oh yeah, the episode's called Backwards.
Yeah, and then it's when Lister goes, I don't speak Bulgarian, and then it's when they're doing their comedy show, Rimmer and Crichton. They're doing a comedy show, obviously, because they get stranded on the island and they're trying to make money and stuff. And they do a comedy show where they're the reverse brothers, where they're doing things forward. And these
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people live backwards, so they find forwards weird, where we obviously find backwards weird. And then they're doing things like drinking water and stuff and eating a banana, and I remember listening going, "Oh, Bulgarians, man, they got simple minds."
I think I think part of that episode is like where Lister goes. It's not a bar room brawl. It's a bar room tidy, and he's like he
Yeah,
chucks
yeah,
the he was chucking the drink, but it like goes back into the glass type thing, and
yeah, yeah.
it's just genius. Things like that. It's just genius.
It's when they ask that guy for help and he goes, because subtitles come up, "Sorry, I don't speak Bulgarian." The guy says,
It's just genius,
yeah.
and I mean, there's a lot of moments like that throughout Red Dwarf. Just like it's just the genius of the writing and the jokes and like the slapstick comedy. Genius,
Yeah, yeah.
genius.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Yeah. So I gotta say, I think that's definitely one of my favorite moments was
What? Sorry, go
yeah.
on.
No, I was to say was that episode, I think. Yeah.
I quite like the episode. I can't remember what episode it was, but I quite like the episode where they're at war. They go to the planet and they're at war, and it's like people throughout time because I've got like
Yes.
I've got
Yeah.
like Gandhi and like other famous figures throughout history.
Yeah, yeah.
I quite like that episode. That's quite a fun episode.
Isn't like Santa Claus there as well, like Adolf Hitler and stuff? I think I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know which one you're on about. Yeah. I like the one as well when Rimmer goes crazy and he has the puppet. Um,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. The polymorph episode's good as well. I quite like the polymorph episode just because
yeah.
again it's just it kind of reminds me of we've talked about this before. It kind of reminds me of like Farscape in a way, just like
Hmm.
obviously with like there was a lot of different aliens throughout Red Dwarf that they met, but like the polymorph was just like that physical sort of
Hmm.
costume type thing and just the way it was shot and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got the actual puppet. I don't know if it was puppets that they used, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it kind of definitely reminded me of Farscape in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Oh no, there's I mean there's loads I can think. I mean again season 8 as well with the old man and the dinosaur because it
oh yeah,
obviously
the dinosaur.
his budgie becomes a T-Rex.
Yeah,
He's like, "You
yeah.
want some seed?"
You want some seed? I
You know
like that
that
he's
yeah.
Welsh as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of yeah, it's a lot of well this is again, so why we're talking about Red Dwarf, so I think it's good to explain. I do think it's sort of in a way, it is like a not necessarily well, in some respects, a parody to Star Trek. I would say in some respects, or especially sci-fi shows, isn't it? In general,
Hmm.
you know, it's kind of you know, it's kind of like a satire of sci-fi shows, really, isn't it? The whole crew and they go on missions and they're trying to get to
Yeah,
Earth and all that. But then it's like this lovely like British humor comedy approach to it that is just brilliant because obviously I mean we are going to talk about this obviously the overall production with it as well is that I love about Red Dwarf is that it's like it emphasizes sort of like the fakeness of science fiction. I find what I
yeah,
mean like
I
you know
would
what I
agree
mean
with that. Yeah, yeah,
it's just because everything looks a bit tacky but it also I don't know. I don't know. It's something that makes it even more British. The way it's so tacky. I don't know why that is, but it just is. It's just oh yeah, I imagine that American ship's been all grand and really pretty and and amazing, and then ours are just like we got these few robots that haven't even got arms, and you know what I mean, and
That look like Hoovers.
yeah, yeah. Oh, another one of my episodes is when Lister, I think they're locked in jail or something, aren't they? And Lister is trying to talk
How
in
are you going
Morse
to say?
code to one of the droids. So I'm going to use this. So he's just like tapping away, like, and he's like tapping away, trying to talk in Morse code, and he goes, he's like, oh, did it work? Are they responding? And he says, like, oh no, I think I ordered a Chinese or something like that. Or the Chinese laundrette, isn't it? It's like that.
Yeah, the Chinese laundrette.
That's it. Yeah. Oh no, I think it was a Chinese laundrette. Oh, it's brilliant. It's just
I know
so
what you're trying to
clever.
say, though. I mean, I think it is one of those iconic sort of British type. I can't remember if we included it in our satire episode. You know, when we did that satire episode, I can't remember if we did.
No, I don't think we did. We just talked about Family Guy and things like that. I don't think we covered Red Dwarf. No.
I think in a way, yeah, it is a nice parody of like what the daftness of if that is a word, daftness. I don't know if the daftness
daftness.
of
we know what
of
you mean.
yeah, of sci-fi shows, but from a British point of view, it is up there with one of the the top British sitcoms. I think as Brits, we're really good for a sitcom. Things like Only Fools and Horses, and One Foot in the Grave and Porridge and Open All Hours. That like they're iconic sitcoms, and to have a what I like about it is we love sitcoms as Brits, but then I think it's quite nice to have a sci-fi based sitcom.
Yeah.
That makes sense. As a sci-fi fan, I think it's really really great, really funny.
I mean, it's kind of like, apart from Doctor Who, this is kind of like our Star Trek in a way, isn't it? As well as I just think as well. Look at the logo. I mean, the logo is very iconic in itself. I mean, I've got a top I wear to bed that says Smeghead on it, and it's the Red Dwarf. Which is obviously a running joke throughout the whole thing. They all call each other Smegheads, don't they? You Smeghead.
Yeah. And I think that the blooper reel or the gag reel is called like Smeg Ups. I think the outtakes they call them Smeg Ups. Next time you're on YouTube, Google YouTube Smeg Ups. It's like all the outtakes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a really funny series, and I think you got like things where they do have things similar to Star Trek, and then they do have like hologram episodes, like kind of like Star Trek has the holodeck, and they have like those virtual reality headset things, and they
of course,
because I think there's one where they're like where they end up on a beach or something, and there's like riding a motorbike on the beach. That episode,
right? Yes, yeah.
And they have like Marilyn Monroe's there for some reason, I think, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, it's things like that. So Star Trek has like holo deck episodes, and Red Dwarf has virtual reality episodes.
Yeah. I think I just love, like I said, about the sort of the cheapness of it as well. Like, as in, like and that's not to say it's a bad made show at all. It sort of emphasizes on that, because I think there's one reference where Lister talks about they're using tapes, VHS, and he talks about how VHS got extinct one time in the world, and then they brought them back because they were easier or something. I don't know, because obviously technically they wouldn't be any VHS in the future. But they joke about that and goes, oh yeah, and they brought back videos. It was. And as we know, of course, I forgot to mention, obviously, because I did sort of mention it, because obviously Rimmer starts off as soft light.
Yes.
And then he becomes hard light then in season 3 as well, isn't it? He becomes hard light, which is quite funny, because then the cast can hit him and everything. They can touch him, can't they, and stuff, and they can do what they want there, basically. Oh, it's just brilliant. It's just, and then also there's so much of it now, so many episodes. I mean, what season are we on now? Is it 11 or 12? Is it? I'm not sure.
Something like that. I mean, I know for us in the UK, it kind of it continued on a channel called Dave.
Uh-huh.
I haven't actually seen past season 8 because
Mm-hmm.
I can't really find anywhere
Because
to find the rest.
you haven't seen Back to Earth, have you? You haven't seen that yet, no.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Uh, I think actually I haven't actually checked it out. I think there's my friend told me about a thing called UK TV Play, and I think it's
Uh-huh.
all on there, but I haven't got around to it yet. But
Yeah. Was that
I
me
think
who told you that? I think
it
I
might
remember.
have been.
Yeah.
It might have been. I
I
don't
remember.
know.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I think it is still going weirdly, even because this started actually in the late 80s, doesn't it? And
Hmm. Yeah,
um,
I think that's right, isn't it? I think it was the late. I think you are right. I'm trying to get a definite date here now. Red Dwarf. When did this start? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was 1988.
wow.
1988 it came out. Red Dwarf. So yeah, I see. I know what you're saying. It was very iconic, I guess, for its time.
Yeah.
When it came out, definitely. Um, yeah.
And I mean, from a British point of view as well, I think obviously I think it must have been so different. Obviously, like I say, I mean, we love a
Mhm.
good sitcom in the UK. You know, we had things like I say, Eddie Falls, One Foot in the Grave, Keeping Up Appearances, Porridge, all
Mhm.
that. To have like a sitcom set in space, it must have been so different and just so
Mhm.
you know like, wacky and weird
Mhm.
to sort of comprehend that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. No, no. I guess it's kind of like, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm just saying this now from what I see and what I watched British television in the past. But it's kind of like these sort of early parts of like kind of like lad comedy in the UK,
mm,
as in like men behaving badly. We had as well in the '90s. And then obviously in between us, what we grew up with when we were younger, and I obviously
yeah,
Peep Show. What I mean, it's that sort of lad comedy thing is what I think is sort of is. Do you know what I mean? Like if I was gonna, I guess, categorize this, it would be obviously be a sci-fi comedy. But I guess with like British comedy comes, I mean, and I agree with what you're saying. Obviously, keeping up appearances and all them sort of classic British comedy shows we have. But for me as well, this is like it kind of goes into another sort of a subgenre, I guess, of British
mm.
television,
That's
which
a good way of
kind of
looking at it.
which
To
is
be fair,
kind
yeah,
of like a like a like British lad comedy, which
yeah.
again, it goes because I'm obviously women can enjoy this and laugh as well, but I do think it is a very lad as in men behaving badly sort of Peep Show. In betweeners esque sort of to it as well, isn't it? And
Mm.
would we have in betweeners for win for shows like this? I mean that sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Kind
Yeah,
of, yeah. It's very iconic and paved the way, I guess, in a
yeah,
way.
yeah, definitely,
Because it
yeah.
is literally, yeah. Like, I mean, I said it earlier in the episode, it's like just four guys just being useless, and
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
um, yeah, and they gel really well together. They joke with each other. It's like meeting lads down the pub, I guess, isn't it? That
Hmm.
sort um, for
And
us anyway.
it's the fact as well, because they're stranded. I think it makes it funnier, because they are literally just messing around eating curry. Because I know there's
Yeah,
one, the other one when Rimmer's gonna go off to the Hollow ship, and then they're all
yeah,
like interviewing different Hollow crew members on there to join their crew,
mm, yeah.
and it's just like they're all interviewing them, and it's like I think it's a girl who says like she enjoys the ballet and stuff, and so just go, will we go to the ballet, and then Lister's just like, well, we'll for anything as long as we have a curry at the end, we're happy, it's just it's just brilliant, like, and that's what they are. They're just literally traveling through space. And what, like I said, they are the lower deckers. They're not captains or commanders, and nothing. They're literally a bunch of anybody's. Like that's what I love about it. I was just going through space, learning as they go along, and trying to get home. But it's
But that's why though you say trying to get home, they don't really I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't really care about getting home. I think if
No.
they were bridge officers, their primary
Mm.
mission would be to get home. But I think
Yeah,
because they don't really care, and they're quite content, aren't they, in each other's
yeah,
company, and going through life. And I quite like the series where they lose Red Dwarf, and it's pretty much all set on the
Starbug. Yeah,
Starbug, yeah.
yeah,
Um, but again, another genius, bit of writing. The fact that they managed to lose their ship,
yeah.
you know.
No,
Uh,
yeah, of course, yeah.
so
It's I do love how the continuous story is always going with it though. It's why
yeah,
it ties it all up together. And there's one I think is Lister and the cat, and they're just watching the Flintstones, and they're just talking about how they like Wilma Flintstone and stuff. And
yeah,
and he goes, what was it? What's her name? Betty is the woman.
Betty, yeah.
Yeah, what about and it's just like, oh, I mean, well, if was I go with her, but I'd be thinking of Wilma,
Yeah, yeah.
it's it's just
It's just brilliant.
yeah,
I mean, talking from an overall production point of view, like just the wittiness of it, and it's just so, you know,
yeah,
the just all the jokes I mean, some of the jokes probably at the time, like I think, were probably more to watch it because I recently watched it, and there were some jokes I would admit that I didn't get. I
mhm,
think they were definitely written for the time, but I could appreciate the fact that they were, just the wittiness of it. Like
yeah,
it's just so genius. It is very well written, very well
mhm.
written.
And I said they said tremendous cast, like no one else could have done it. Like it has to be these, these
Mm.
are the only the only performers I think who could play these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, the first, no disrespect to the first guy who played Crichton, but
Mhm.
Robert Llewellyn did a great job. Danny John Jules was just brilliant, and
Oh, well, apparently there was meant to be a Red Dwarf film coming out last year.
oh yes,
Yeah,
because you
the
you have
Promised
a
Land. Yeah.
yeah, you have a bit of a connection, don't you, to one of the actors? Do you want to
well,
tell us?
I was saying, I spoke to him for a good 15 minutes. Mind, it was Chris
Yes.
Barry. I met him in Western Supermare. It was just a little convention that they do. They're called Stars of Time. And just it was in a helicopter museum there, actually. That's where it was being held. And yeah, Chris Barry was just there, and no one was queuing up for him or nothing like that. So I just thought, I'll just walk in then. And I just walked in and saw him, and he was just there waiting, and he did the signing. I didn't pay anything. He didn't charge me anything for whatever. He just said, "Yeah, you have this," and he signed it for me. And I mean, well, some Dan will know this. So back at home, a lot of people, my nickname is Mary at home, isn't it? That's what people call
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And he actually called me Mary on there, and he actually said how he liked that. He thought it was really bizarre, And he wrote on there, he wrote, "To Mary, you're a total smeghead. Love, Chris
Yeah.
Barry."
That's quite a Red Dwarf thing as well. The fact that you're called Mary. And
Yeah,
I also,
he really liked it. He was just a bit
yeah.
like, oh, "That's weird."
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of was like, he's like, "I won't forget that." It was like, don't hear that every day sort of thing.
I always forget that's your nickname. Actually, I remember that's what I used to call you that all the time.
I don't really get called it much. I got
I think if you were a Red Dwarf character, it would be called Mary. You know,
I'm trying to see now if this actually got released or not, or what happened to it.
because didn't he tell you about this?
He
This is
did,
what
yeah. He
yeah.
did.
When you were chatting away to Chris Barry, he told you about the film.
So apparently, an official release date of 9th of April 2020 was later given as part of the release of the special. Oh, is that just the trailer released? Maybe
I don't
I
know.
don't.
I do need to watch the later series. Actually, I do.
Oh my god, there is a trailer. Should we watch the trailer?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I didn't know there was a trailer for it.
Is this going to spoil some stuff for me though? Because I've not seen. Obviously, have you seen the later series then? Or
I have. I don't think it'll spoil anything
Ah,
because I mean, I really doubt it. I can't see. No.
because I'm quite late to the party with Red Dwarf. I
Mm.
didn't obviously watch it when it first came out. I've only watched it recently because you told me about it.
Mhm.
Really,
I
oh,
would be
I
very
knew of it, but
surprised. I mean, I'll
yeah.
put it this way: I felt with the new episodes, I could watch them in any order, and I wouldn't have made any difference. That's what I personally felt anyway.
Okay.
Right, Ed. So, ladies, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna watch the trailer now. Obviously, if you are just listening, you can watch it on YouTube. Type in Red Dwarf: The Promised Land. Apparently, this came out last year in April. I actually didn't know, but obviously, Chris Barry failed to mention this to me. He didn't email me.
I mean, there was other things going on, like like the COVID pandemic kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right, Ed. So that's what we're gonna do. We're going to just gonna watch this. There we go. Yeah, I learnt that just now, ladies and gentlemen. I literally just learnt that now that you should be able to watch Red Dwarf: The Promised Land on UK TV Play. I was hoping it was gonna get to the cinema. Look, I really want it in the cinema.
Imagine that. I mean, it probably would have been, but obviously with COVID, they probably just put it back
Yeah.
onto like a lot of films. You know, they probably just
Mhm.
straight to streaming service.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to watch the late. You know, I need to watch series 9, 10, and
Mhm.
11. I think is it. Or...
Yeah, I have seen them all. I just can't remember. I'm gonna have to go through them all again. I'm gonna have to see because obviously they're not all together. That's the only annoying thing about it. So that's I'm gonna have to see.
Yeah.
Well, and make sure I have watched. Because I'm to my knowledge, I've watched them all. Like I've seen all of them. All I'd say is, yeah, Back to Earth is the funny one. That's the sort of like, it's not really the same sort of one. But
I remember you said that one's
yeah,
a bit dodgy. Yeah.
that's the
And
only one.
apparently a lot of fans didn't like that one.
Yeah, Back to Earth was an a lot of the fans. I don't want to give too much away, but they wasn't too happy with it. And that's part of the reason I'm thinking why they made more seasons and kept them the same as what they used to be. Like, the only difference is obviously, as you'll notice, you saw in the trailers, obviously they've all aged.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is. It is that part as well, especially Holly. I love that in the trailer. Hey, hi, dudes.
All right, dudes. Yeah.
God, he was still in there. And the cat who makes himself a pair of mittens.
Yeah, just a classic cat. I mean, they all have their quirks, don't they? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Rim as a SWAT list as a curry, you know,
Eating alcoholic, yeah.
yeah, eating alcoholic, yeah. And Cat, you know, he just loves his affairs, and Crichton just loves ironing. So
What is it? I love when like Cat, he when they have to like pack up their stuff and he has like loads of like clothes. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you look this good, man. Wow. What's he on about? He says like, I can put a drill onto it. I can make it through walls, man. Or something like that.
Yeah. He has so many good one-liners. The Cat does have a lot of good one-liners, actually. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. I think Cat's my favorite character. See, look, I think, I just love the Cat.
You do a good impression of him, actually. So I can understand that.
I know the actor obviously plays the guy. He was on Strictly Come Dancing not long ago.
Who was that? Sorry,
the guy who plays the cat.
Was he?
Because also
Danny
in the
John
UK,
Jules.
yeah, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah, also in the UK as well for mainly our younger audiences. I don't know if you'd be aware of this because I think you would have been a bit older, but I only know this because my brother at the time was young. Cat also featured in the Story Makers, which was a kids program about. So basically, it was set like in a library at night or something.
Right.
Basically, Cat was a character. Well, obviously not the cat, but I kept thinking it's Cat because my brother used to watch it when he was.
Oh, right, okay.
And basically, he used to make stories, and he was called the Story Makers. And
I used
to. You might know something about it at least. Yeah,
sounds familiar, to be honest. Yeah.
And people, yeah, well, I imagine a lot of people didn't, but I definitely did. I used to always think it's the Cat. You know, he's left Red Dwarf and he's now a story maker. And I know he was in Strictly Come Dancing a few years ago, apparently as well. And I think there's a lot of a lot of people weren't sure about that because apparently because he is a trained dancer as well. He is actually like I think he did
Yeah.
musical theatre and things. So as we
Then
know, he's
I
a good
think quite a
dancer.
few people on Strictly Come Dancing have had dance
True.
training anyway.
Yeah,
So
that is true. But I remember that was a big thing. People were saying, he is actually a dancer. But anyway, I love the guy though.
I know he
Yeah.
was in Blade 2, not as the cat, but like
That's the problem. I think that's the problem with Red Dwarfs. But I always, it is and here we are again, kind of like Star Trek, where it sort of becomes a parody within the real world as well, because these actors do become their characters, kind of like, I am Spock, I'm not Spock, or, that sort of thing. He's always Spock. And I mean, every time I see, was it Craig Charles in any other thing, because he was in, was it Gadget Show? He's in the Gadget Show, isn't he?
yeah, he was in
Yeah.
Coronation Street for a bit as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Just have that in your mind and wait till you watch Back to Earth. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Yeah. But I always think of him as Lister, regardless of what he is in or what he does, even when he's himself in the Gadget Show or on a radio show. Robot Wars as well. He was in.
Robot Wars as well.
Was a
Yeah, I
big
was
thing
going to
he
say.
was in. I always think of him as Lister. So, Lister's in Robot Wars. Same with Chris Barry.
I think Lister would have made a good host of Robot Wars anyway. He kind of liked fiddling with machines and stuff, didn't he? So
Yeah.
definitely safe to say though, Red Dwarf is a classic, and
Yeah.
us as Star Trek fans and any other Star Trek fans or sci-fi fans, I think definitely give Red Dwarf a watch, because it's definitely I love the scuzziness of it as well. It's quite quite just it's very wacky, and it's very just wacky. I think wacky is a good way of describing it. It's very wacky and very scuzzy and just really quite funny.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I just think there's not a show like it.
No, there's not actually. I think it would be. I think it's quite. I think one of the questions I think I said about was having like is a sci-fi sitcom important, and I think it is, because it's quite a. I mean, if anything, Red Dwarf's quite unique in the fact that it's a sitcom set in space. I can't.
No, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I can't really think of another show like it.
No. And I think, science fiction, there needs to be comedy sci-fi. So I think they just, I don't know. To me, it just now and then as sci-fi fans, we just need to break out of the seriousness sometimes, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And sort of make fun of it, make fun of the genre as much as we can,
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
robots and aliens and time travel and stuff. I think you do need that, and that is exactly what Red Dwarf delivers.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I've said anything I want to say now. I think
I'm glad I watched it. I mean, like I said, I know I was quite late to the party with it, but it's definitely become one of my favorites in the short time I've known of it. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. So if you haven't watched Red Dwarf, go and watch it. If you have watched Red Dwarf, watch it again. Right then. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That was the end of episode 23. Wow. And I got to say, I think we said a lot in this episode, obviously with Trek news and with Red Dwarf. And we've also learned things on the way, which I quite like as well, about both really. So especially Red Dwarf as well, how, was it the Promised Land is out as well, or could be out on UK TV Player. So I'm definitely checking that out.
Definitely check it out. Yes.
All right, so thanks everyone. Of course, you can be watching us at M&DHQ, or watching us on our YouTube channel, or listening to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, Breaker, Overcast, and Pocket Casts as well. Wherever you're listening from, watching from, keep listening and watching. And as we always say on the show, live long, and prosper. Have a good day, you smegheads.
Yes, smegheads. It's cold outside. There's no kind of
atmosphere. I'm all alone. More
or less.
Dum 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 dum.